Hey, I'm going to start out with a little bit of an apology. We've been kind of neglecting the gem of the state of Wisconsin, Lake Winnebago, Lake Winnebago today. But this is a lake that I grew up on. I've cut my teeth on this lake. You can learn how to jig fish and troll crankbaits and troll open water baits, spinner fish. I mean, you name it, you're going to catch walleyes here at certain times of the year. And I'm joining my son Chase. It's actually right before June. This is a time of the year when everything starts to go on the lake. You might be fishing weeds. You might be fishing reefs. You could fish slip bobbers. You may be looking at fishing in the river. Well, we're going to explore this big lake today, and I think you're going to find it to be a special show. Come join us and get your next bite. I mean, these are fantastic, healthy Lake Winnebago walleyes.
Just looking for the next bite, next bite, next bite. Just looking for the next bite. It's the
We'll continue to show you the next bite.
The Lake Winnebago system has undergone some big changes in the last several years. Cooperative conservation efforts between the local community, Department of Natural Resources, and anglers alike, both recreational and professional,
All right, boys, let's get them.
have made sure that one of Wisconsin's best and most historical bodies of water for extremely versatile fishing stays healthy and happy for everyone to enjoy year-round.
Typically, I'm used to being the young guy, the kid in the boat. I decided to bring someone a little bit younger. This is my good friend Derek Navis, 25 years old. But this kid, if you've been following walleye tournaments on a national level and on a level near Winnebago here, has just been dominant. He actually just got done winning a few weeks ago a big tournament on this system. Some big fish. Actually, some fish that made me look at his Facebook posts and go, I gotta see where he's catching these things. He's actually pre-fishing for another tournament right now. But we're bringing him out here, and he's gonna show us some of those hot spots that he's found out here. So in the future, the old man and I can go and see if we can actually beat him on those spots.
A few spots, but not the best spots.
One of the more recent campaigns tied to Lake Winnebago has been a concerted effort to stabilize and revitalize the Sander canadensis population.
Wow, that didn't take a real crawler.
Or more commonly known as Sauger.
Nice one, Sauger.
A tenacious member of the Persidae family.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
What'd that take, about 20 seconds?
30 seconds. That's about all.
And a migratory cousin of the walleye.
Yeah, for a long time those things were hurting. Kind of,
Yeah, they've been coming back really good the last couple of years now.
It's amazing how Lake Winnebago has changed through the years. You know, I grew up on this lake as a kid, fished it almost every single day. And in the early summer months, it would start getting an algae growth. And by the time the end of June, July would roll around, sometimes you could almost walk on the algae that would grow on the surface. The lake was really fertile. There was a lot of farm runoff and city runoff. And through the years, they really have cleaned the lake up. There are a lot of restrictions put on the lake. And through those years, saugers were very, very common in Lake Winnebago. In fact, it was a mainstay of fishing. In the winter, you could catch as many as you wanted. It was a lot of fun. But through the years, as the lake cleaned up somewhat and has gotten clearer, the sauger population really got hit pretty hard. And it was quite a few years ago now that they decided to put a moratorium on saugers on this lake, and the moratorium was you couldn't keep any at all. If you caught one, you had to throw it back. They also did a lot of conservative efforts through Walleyes for Tomorrow. They basically helped to make little rock piles on the different parts of the lake. They'd sink little rock piles basically for spawning habitat and habitat for the fish to live. Throughout the course of this time frame, they've really been watching the sauger population closely really. And they've made a major comeback. They've opened the fishing back up a little bit, but I wouldn't say overall that the fishery's fragile, but it is one that's been very, very well watched, very, very well managed. And every one of the fishermen on this lake and all the conservation groups want to see saugers in here forever and ever. So it's kind of neat to catch the big old saugers here again. And watching over a course of my lifetime, it's a pretty cool story. You got one?
Yep. Feels like a pretty good one.
Good
Feels
one?
like a good one.
Get the net, GP.
Wow, that's a big sauger.
Sauger.
Holy man.
Look at the belly on him.
Get it.
Yep. Here he comes.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Oh, there's a big
Nice
sauger.
sauger.
Holy
Beautiful.
man, Derek. Wow, these things are fat.
Fat fish.
Huh?
Beautiful fish.
All the restoration stuff these guys have done
Yep.
looks like it's really paying off.
Beautiful. Chunky fish, very healthy.
Yeah, we're gonna need a pliers for this, see if we can pop them out.
That is a good sauger, guys.
Oh, there he goes. Wow.
Beautiful fish.
Look how fat they are.
Real nice fish.
Wow. Here you go, Derek.
All right, I'll let him go.
Put them in.
The next bite is brought to you by Mercury, #1 on the water. Amsoil, the first in synthetics. Tracker Boats, fish, the finest. Bass Pro Shops, your adventure starts here. Berkeley, catch more fish. Mustad, stay sharp longer. Lowrance, find, navigate, dominate. Motor Guide, never stop. Strike King, #1 in fishing lures. And Power Pole, swift, silent, secure. Just about every technique out there for catching walleyes can be used at some point during the year to catch walleye and sauger on Lake Winnebago in Wisconsin.
Walleye, the future of Lake Winnebago right there. See you, buddy!
It's this versatility that is a major part of its appeal. It's not just about the big fish, although they are here.
That, baby, is a Winnebago beauty.
It's about catching lots of good fish.
There we go.
Nice fish.
All right.
There we
He
go.
hammered it too.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
did.
the boat was swinging and the line went underneath it and he just went kaboom.
So you're saying it was that precise boat control that triggered that bite, huh?
Right in the roof of the mouth.
Beautiful fish.
You don't usually lose them there.
Real healthy fish too.
Look how fat they are.
Yeah, they're feeding very well.
But after Derek has to say goodbye to get back to pre-fishing for his next walleye tournament,
It's getting kind of late. You can see that storm's getting pretty close. It's monstrous on the screen
Yeah.
there. You got a long way to go back to get to where you guys are staying for
Yep.
pre-fishing for that tournament.
Yep.
Why don't we wrap it up, Chase?
pro anglers and father and son Gary and Chase Parsons settle in on one particular technique that has proven itself time and time again already out west with walleyes for them in their own tournaments and time on the water. Slow death.
You know, this is a body of water where in order to catch fish all year long, you have to be a really versatile angler. We've shot a lot of shows with this technique, but on this specific body of water, it's really unheard of. Now you can catch fish with jigs, with crankbaits, whether they're on reefs or up in the river here, pretty much any time you want. But we've actually found that taking the technique that works, you know, on those western reservoirs and trying it in this body of water, I'm thinking it's something that these fish haven't seen. So we're pulling slow death on these brake lines and we're treating it the exact same way we would when we go out to those reservoirs. We're graphing for the fish, and when we're marking them, we're pulling slow death through those schools of fish. Now the cool thing about pulling slow death versus another technique is you can cover water, but you can be very thorough. So don't be afraid, no matter what type of body of water you're on, to try this technique. I think you're really gonna like the results. It's a big
Think it's
fish.
a walleye?
You know, it's steamed down, but it's big.
All right. Oh man, that looks like a big fish. Wow. Looks like a really good fish, whatever it is.
Yeah, baby! Yeah!
Look at that! Has got to be
Look at
the
that fish.
ugliest walleye I've ever
Now
seen.
that, baby, is a Winnebago beauty, kind of.
Well, you could tell she had beat herself senseless
Oh,
on the
man.
rocks spawning.
How
Wow.
sweet is that?
Wow. Nice fish. She basically beat herself up pretty hard when she was spawning. Fought hard, man. I
Fought really
thought you were
hard.
going to have a great big catfish.
I'm definitely gonna, well, I'll take a pliers quick if you can get one here. Actually, I got it. I got it here. Yep.
Okay, cool.
There we go. Now we're free.
Nice.
Beautiful Winnebago fish right there. Good length to her. She just got done spawning. She'd have been a lot fatter a little bit ago.
Yep,
but
oh yeah.
hey, we'll take that one. What a great fight.
The real deal, real fishing information from real fishing experts. Presented by Amsoil.
Now that's a good fish. Let me just clear this net out of the way here. That is a good fish. And I'll tell you what makes it really good is that I was actually doing something a little bit different and switched up my tactics. And many times that's what makes you a better walleye angler. Let me just put this guy back in the water here. And what makes it better is versatility. Now, whenever you're out here fishing, especially if you're marking a lot of fish, you want to try a bunch of different things. And the one thing that I've learned over the years is you want to make sure you have a lot of techniques kind of at hand. One of those techniques might be spinner fishing. So I like to have equipment that's real easy for me to pull out anytime, put on, and try that technique. I like to carry these flicker rigs. They're a pre-tied harness. They've got the right hooks on there, the Mustad double wide hooks. They're tied with the same line I would tie them with, 100% fluorocarbon. They got these really cool oil slick blades on them. So it's just a good package to quick throw down there with a spinner. But sometimes I'm out fishing and I don't have, for example, crawlers. So what I like to carry is artificial crawlers. These are something called a spinner crawler. They're actually in the gulp of live juice. They stay nice and limber. So when I put one of these on, I'm really confident that it's gonna be as limber and look as good as a real night crawler. So by keeping these couple of things in the boat, I stay versatile, and so when the situation calls for it, I can switch techniques, get on some fish, and get them in the boat.
While Gary and Chase Parsons with a quick visit from fellow pro angler Derek Navis, array of initial approaches did land them a few different species of fish.
Do they have to be walleyes?
Pulling slow death along medium to steeper break lines on Lake Winnebago has been the most consistent overall for producing lots of action from walleyes and sauger.
It's more of a technique that's more Dakota driven, I'd say.
Yeah.
But it's catching on all over.
Yeah.
So after making certain you were stocked up completely with plenty of crawlers,
Oh, how does it feel?
Yeah, I think it's a walleye too, the way it was dragging. It's not a very big one though, so I don't.
All right, I'll stay up here then. Keep us on the break.
Oh, you hit it nice and hard.
knowing which break lines to fish this time of year is more of a matter of why the walleyes and saugers are there in the first place.
Little guy. Whoa, whoa. You're anxious to go.
Yeah, just a slow take and it's staying down right now. It's a pretty good fish, Dad.
Oh, it looks like a big one, whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh! Did you see that net job?
That was pretty impressive for an old guy.
Wow.
Man, that's a nice fish, huh?
Oh, man, yes. That's a beautiful fish. Awesome.
You know, and it hit just like you want a slow death fish to hit. Just a
Yeah.
little bit of weight. And I actually thought for a second it might be hung up on the bottom until it jerked back at me, and then I knew it was going to be the right kind. With so many different options on this system, whether it's how to fish or where to fish, we've actually focused in on a key area right by the mouth of the Fox River as it goes out into Lake Winnebago. Many of the fish that are in the main lake move up the Fox River into the upper lakes, Butte-Moore and Lake Winneconne, and then also go up into the Wolf River to spawn. These fish are now done spawning and they're heading back downstream through those lakes and out to the main lake to get to their summer habitat. And that's when that mud bite out there with the open water spinners and cranks get real good, and the reef bites too. But we're basically intercepting those fish on their migration down. What we've done is focused in on this mouth of the river here, but we're really looking at these channel edges, these breaks, the pretty sharp breaks that actually start up at the top of a flat, and we're finding that these fish are moving down on the top of those breaks. So 10 to 13 feet in some of these situations is really where we're finding a lot of the fish. But it's pretty cool because these fish move really far up and really far down, and we're just trying to graph for the fish, pick apart where they're gonna be at a given day based on those currents that are pushing them down. And when you can do that on a system like this and be really aggressive in your style of fishing, you're gonna put more fish in the boat.
between the sheephead and catfish and everything else, I can't get my lines baited up. Wow,
Boy,
this
he's
guy
got
had a
you
lot
down,
of line up.
doesn't he?
I had the drag on this separated light, so he might have been pulling. He had to be pulling drag out for a long time. I totally angled this one with my skill.
It's not in the boat yet.
Oh, this is a good fish.
Don't get too crazy. Oh, he's in my
He's
line,
coming up,
of
he's
course.
coming up, he's
Yep.
coming up. Okay, here he comes, here he comes, here he comes. Oh yeah.
There we go. Oh, that's a good one.
Good fish. Holy man, I'm telling you, it's like been a Chinese fire drill out here. It's been awesome. Look at how chunky. If this was a tournament day, buddy, we'd be having a good day. We got what, a dozen crawlers? We might have to get more crawlers.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna need a pliers here, I
All
think.
right. There you go. You weren't gonna lose that one.
I think my drag was a little light, and I think he was on there for a little while before we noticed it, and he just took all that line out. Big fat fish. Oh, there you go, buddy.
Topics, leading information on tackle and techniques to make you a better fisherman. Presented by Mercury.
Another day on the water with Mercury Marine. And let's just talk about some things that Mercury does that keep you on the water. You know, customers are concerned about low cost of maintenance. You know, what's it really required to take care of my engine throughout the season? Well, the easiest thing when you talk about the 4-strokes is changing the oil. Once this season, or every 100 hours, we ask you to change the filter, change the oil, hit the grease zert. At the same time then, you're ready to go. We even gone further and added a little maintenance reference decal here on the side of the engine. Tells you what to do at 100 hours, tells you what to do at 300 hours, tells you the spark plug, tells you the gap. Just about all the information your service technician would need to service it. So again, just something we do to take care of you. Oh, and by the way, if you want more information, grab your smartphone and go to the QR code. It'll take you to our Mercury Marine website and give you more information on how to take care of your engine.
Lake Winnebago isn't just one of Gary Parsons' favorite systems to fish because he grew up fishing here,
Bite! Got the bite! Got the next bite.
or even because he's won professional walleye tournaments here.
Yeah.
He, like other anglers who simply love walleye fishing, respect the versatile opportunities and challenges that come from learning on such a dynamic body of water.
He's not a giant, but he's a good one. When I was growing up, this was actually kind of a big fish, but in today's world of Winnebago, it's actually a little bit of a small guy. I mean, the fish overall have gotten to be much bigger on average, but this is a good one. This is what we would call a sandwich fish, but today we're not going to be cooking them up in fish batter. We're going to be letting them go. The Winnebago system is a dynamic system. I mean, it's unbelievable. You've got huge river systems that flow throughout it. You've got Lake Winnebago itself. It's 40 miles long and about 7 miles wide. You've got Poygan, Winneconne, Butamore. It's a monstrous body of water full of walleyes. In fact, I don't know as if there's a technique in walleye fishing that you can't concentrate on and practice with on this system and get good at it. I mean, from vertical jigging river systems to pitching jigs along shorelines to throwing jigs in the weeds to trolling on the edge of reefs to slip bobber fishing to river fishing to fishing in the lakes with open water techniques and planer boards. This system has it all. And at the end of May, the beginning of June, in the time frame that we are at right now, everything is going. It's just a dynamic system, and literally you can play around for a lifetime on this body of water and explore and really never run out of opportunities. So the Winnebago system, I'm proud to say I grew up here, and it is one of still my favorite bodies of water to fish. When he first bit, I thought he was a snag.
Oh yeah, he's staying down too.
Okay, here he comes. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there we go.
There's a good fish.
Fatty.
Nice.
There you go.
It's weird. I mean, it felt kind of like a snag, and when I set the hook, it didn't even make a head shake. And I'm going, I got a piece of wood. All of a sudden, it goes, goom, goom, goom. Yeah. That's not a sheephead when they do that. Look how fat he is. Chase, I don't know if I've ever seen walleyes this fat. Hey, I'm gonna need a pliers.
Okay. Yeah, that thing is fat.
Yeah, and I mean, he just nailed it too.
Yeah.
Look at this fish. I mean, these are fantastic, healthy Lake Winnebago walleyes. Nice one. Oh, let him go right away. Oh, here you go, buddy. Perfect. Oh, that was a nice fish.
Yeah, not too bad. Hey, I'm Derek.
Yo!
We have a pretty cool opportunity here. I am so used to being a young.
The motorcycle. I couldn't even hear what you said. There he goes. Master Netter! That would be me!
Yeah.
Now, if I was about 50 years younger, this would be an awesome photo.
It is one of still my favorite bodies of water to fish. Oh my goodness, did I nail that?